Welcome to Std-VII Social Science class. In this session, we are here to discuss on Geography Lesson 1 Interior of the Earth. Before entering the session, here is a 1-minute reading. Amazing facts about Earth. Earth is the third planet from the Sun and our home planet. Earth revolves around the Sun, but its average distance from the Sun is 149 million km per 93 million miles. Scientists have researched and estimated that our Earth is around 4.5 billion years old. Earth formed at around the same time as the rest of our solar system. Earth is the fifth largest planet of the solar system. The name Earth is at least 1000 years old. It simply translates to the ground. The Greek name for Earth was Gaia, Mother Earth. Only 3% of Earth's water is fresh and 97% of it is salty. The surface of Earth is covered by water around 71% and 29% of Earth's surface is covered by land. Have you ever wondered what lies below the surface of the Earth? Is it solid rock all the way down, or is it a liquid ball with a thin solid crust? When the Earth was formed around 5 billion years ago, it was a molten ball of rock. As it cooled, the denser or heavier materials sank down and the lighter materials floated up to form the crust that you see. At present, the interior of the Earth is like an onion with several concentric layers one side and other. Or you could think of it as an apple, just as an apple is made up of skin, pulp and core. So is the Earth made up of 3 layers: the crust, the mantle and the core. Before entering the session, here is a video on formation of the Earth.
The formation of the Earth is related to the formation of the solar system. The gases that formed the solar system gradually started shrinking. Increasingly more matter gathered in the center, while temperature was constantly increasing. The Sun formed from this condensed molecular cloud of dust. Due to rapid rotation, the rest of the cloud scattered and flattened into an orbiting protoplanetary disk around the Sun. The particles of dust in the protoplanetary disk stuck together electrostatically, and when these clumps of dust reached kilometers in size, they began to collapse under their own gravity, forming protoplanets. This is also how the Earth formed 4.6 billion years ago. Around 170 million years after the formation of the Earth, a similarly young planet, known as Theia, struck the Earth's still soft crust. Theia was demolished after the collision, and it merged with the Earth. The Earth's mass therefore increased, effectively reaching its current mass. The impact created a large ring of debris around the Earth, which later formed into the Moon. After the dissolution of the ring, the Moon became a glowing hot celestial body orbiting 25,000 kilometers above the Earth. During this period, the Moon still had volcanoes, lava flows, and its own magnetic field. The tidal phenomenon that occurs between the Earth and the Moon led to various changes. Firstly, the Moon became tidally locked with the Earth, meaning it takes the Moon just as long to rotate around its own axis as it does to revolve around the Earth. Secondly, the Moon gradually receded from the Earth, cooled down, and then became geologically inactive. Currently, the average distance of the Moon from the Earth is 384,000 kilometers. Even to this day, it is receding from the Earth, 3.8 centimeters a year. As a result, it takes the moon increasingly more time to revolve around the Earth. However, due to tidal locking, the period it takes to rotate around its own axis is also increasing. The tidal phenomenon also affects the Earth. The Earth's rotation period is decreasing, meaning the length of the Earth's day is slowly increasing.
The different layers of earth: crust, mantle, core. In the picture you can see the upper brown portion is a crust, the yellow portion is mantle, and the core is divided into two parts. The orange portion is outer core and the inner portion is inner core. Now we learn about it one by one. The uppermost solid and thin layer of the surface is called the crust or lithosphere. It consists of continents and ocean basins. On the continents, its thickness is about 35 km, while it is 5 km on the oceanic floor. Although the crust is made up of many elements such as oxygen, sulfur, sodium, etc., its silica and alumina are the major elements of the continental crust. Thus, it is also called Cl. Here, Sl stands for silica while Al stands for alumina. The oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium. So it is also called seema. Here Sl stands for silica and Ma for magnesium. Mantle. The mantle is situated just below the crust. It is separated from the crust by a boundary called monovisic discontinuity. It lies between the crust and core. It extends up to a depth of 2900 km below the crust. It is made up of heavy elements like basalt, granite, sodium, magnesium, sulfur, etc. But the main elements of mantle are silicon and magnesium. Therefore, it is also called seema. Here, Sm stands for silica while Ma stands for magnesium. Core. The innermost layer of the earth is called the core or barysphere. It is separated from the mantle by a boundary called Gutenberg discontinuity. It extends from 2900 km to about 6500 km below the crust. It is mainly made up of nickel and iron. Therefore, it is also known as knife. Here Nl stands for nickel and Fe stands for ferrous, iron. This layer has very high temperature and pressure.
Hello, friends. Today, we'll learn about the layers of the Earth. The Earth is made of 4 layers: the crust, the mantle, inner core, and the outer core. Some of the layers have even more layers inside them and are always moving. Come on, let's start from the outside and move our way in. Whoa! Crust. The crust is the thin outer layer of the Earth where we all live. The crust varies from around 3 to 5 miles thick in the ocean floor to around 25 miles thick on land. Earth's crust is found on the outer surface, and it is made of solid rock and minerals. Mantle. The next layer. The next layer of the Earth is the mantle. The mantle is thicker than the crust at almost 1,900 miles deep and makes up about 85% of the Earth's weight. It is solid rock but not completely hard. Amazing!
The earth movements. The lithosphere is broken up into a number of pieces called tectonic or lithospheric plates. These rigid plates float on the semi-molten rocks of the lower portion of the upper mantle, which is called the asthenosphere. The temperature in the asthenosphere is high around 1600 degrees centigrade. At this temperature, the rocks are in a near molten state as they can flow in a thick and viscous way. The changes and movements are taking place all the time inside the earth. There are also different external forces working constantly and changing the face of the earth. These forces are varied and they affect the face of the earth differently. We can divide these forces into two categories: endogenic forces and exogenic forces. The forces which act in the interior of the earth are called endogenic forces. The forces that work on the surface of the earth are called exogenic forces. Let us we see the endogenic forces in the next session. Thank you.